Hey all, Chris here. I want to take a moment to talk to you about a theological concept in the Bible few people actually talk about, and that's the image of God. I think the concept of the image of God is important because it means a lot to God. When he creates humanity, he doesn't imbue anything else in all of creation with his image. And right after he creates us in his image, he gives us a charge. He asks us to work in his garden, to take dominion over creation, to subdue the earth. Well, we all know what happens next. Adam and Eve are given another choice. Are they going to take fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or are they going to obey God, the one single command that he's given them? And they screw it up! The one thing that they were given to do, to not eat from the tree of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And so they kind of seal their fate right there with that disobedient act to God.
Your dad shared some birthday cake.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, guy. So, we gotta look at this in the right context. It's like if Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, all of a sudden some vandals came in and just messed it all up. So you gotta ask yourself, put yourself in Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci's shoes, all right? Would you let this black mark be upon your masterpiece? No, of course not. You're gonna do everything you can to fix this situation. You're not gonna let your baby, your magnum opus, be tarnished. But God remains faithful. Despite humanity's overwhelming sin, God decides to still try and restore humanity, to remove the utter blackness that is present upon his magnum opus, his creation. And so, Abraham enters into the scene. God pulls Abraham out of the city of Ur and says, I'm going to make a new nation out of you. I'm going to make all these promises. And Abraham remains faithful. Sometimes he remains faithless. Actually laughs at God at one point when he says that he's going to have a kid. And so this points to, again, the faithfulness of God in his grand mission of recovering the people who bear his image. So Abraham ends up dying, and his family end up in Egypt where they're enslaved, and God comes and saves them through miraculous display. And so you think that these Israelites would be faithful to the God who saved them. So he sets out these laws, these covenants, and he expects Israel to follow them. Again, he's trying to reestablish his image here on this earth. But they fail, and they fail in epic fashion. In fact, these people who are supposed to bear the image of God eventually end up bowing down to carved images of other gods. God is ticked. The whole purpose of Israel is that they were supposed to differentiate themselves from the nations, that they were supposed to be God's image here on this earth, his holy people, his nation. But some good is going to come out of this. God uses Israel to bring about his son, our Savior, Jesus Christ, who, through his life on earth and his death and resurrection, redeems man. So this black mark that's on God's masterpiece, his magnum opus, is now gone because of Jesus Christ redeeming us from sin. So now we're free to be the people that God has intended us to be in the garden. People who can bear his image, who faithfully represent him. And this doesn't just mean for us to just represent him, period, but to go out and to represent him to the nations, to bear his image to the nations, to show people who the true God is through how we act and through how we speak and through how we love and through how we show compassion and mercy. And all of our reflections and all that we do reflects our God. So that's why the image of God is important.